6 feet 8 inches, and weighing in at approximately 300 pounds, the man with the largest arms in the world, Hulk Hogan. Also in tonight's match, hailing from Amarillo, Texas, standing at 6 feet 1 inch and weighing in at 245 pounds, the hardcore icon and multiple-time champion all around the world, Dory Funk. And his opponent from Carmel, New York, at a height of 5 feet 9 inches and tipping the scales at an amazing 230 pounds. A maker of 18 World Tag Team Champions, he is the manager of champions, Captain Lou Albano. Making his way towards the ring area, hailing from Denton, Texas, standing at 5 feet 11 inches and tipping the scales at an amazing 210 pounds, a member of the Von Erich dynasty, Michael Von Erich.
Hey everyone, welcome back with Beano Mac, where today we're of course going to continue our playthrough of Legends of Wrestling. And this is the original one. We're playing on the GameCube. We're using the Dolphin emulator here, folks. And yeah, we're playing as Hulk Hogan and stuff like that. And we're taking on the Southeast territory. So we got a different variety of superstars here at our disposal. And like, man, what other wrestling game are you gonna have freaking the Von Erichs and Captain Lou Albano as playable characters in? And again, maybe, I think I might be wrong, but maybe, Lou Albano was playable in one of the recent WWE games because he was like a part of the Hall of Fame or something like that. But I thought it was way before that. But obviously, he's a very influential, man in the industry because obviously he had some connections to, I don't think it was necessarily Hollywood. I think he may have, but I think it was more like the music industry he had connections to because obviously, he got Cindy Lauper involved in Hollywood and stuff like that. And one of my favorite interviews from that time was there was like I can't even remember who it was, but it was like somebody with Cindy Lauper, and she was arguing. And then like Roddy Piper came out, and she just started arguing with Roddy Piper, and it was just so funny because like it literally sounded like a 3-year-old arguing with Roddy Piper and stuff like that, calling them names, and it was great. But it's pretty cool. Cindy Lauper, I feel like, is she even in the WWE Hall of Fame celebrity wing? Because like I said, I've already gotten my piece on the Hall of Fame. I think it's kind of like, I wouldn't say it's a total sham, but I don't think it's as real as it could be because they don't have a physical place for it. And it just kind of lists on a website. But I do think that the night of the Hall of Fame, where like all the fans and the wrestlers are there to celebrate, and the wrestlers get to have one last big night and celebrate it, and the human beings and stuff like that get that. So it's real to me for that. But I don't know, if Cindy Lauper is not a part of that, I mean, that'd just be madness. She deserves to be in the Hall of Fame for Girls Just Want to Have Fun alone. That is a awesome song. I also loved her song Good Enough for You is Good Enough for Me from the Goonies. Oh man, that was an amazing song too. Not nearly as good as Girls Just Want to Have Fun. What the hell is going on with that chair? But I'm a big fan of like classic 80s music and stuff like that. I've never been a fan of bands in particular, but just kind of like hits at the time and stuff like that. But obviously also Lou Albano was also Mario and the Mario Bros show and stuff like that back in the day. Do the Mario, and he had like the live action skits and stuff like that. So there was some good stuff there. I don't know. I always had to wonder, like, you know, what, like, Cyndi Lauper had to get paid and stuff like that to be able to show up at WrestleMania and stuff like that. I think it was her manager was actually the one who was, like, good friends with Lou Albano, and I think that was also, if I remember correctly, I think that, like, Cyndi Lauper and her manager were, like, dating at the time. They may even be married to this day, which, if they are, I'll give them credit, because, you know, just can't even think of the correct term. But mixing business and, you know, relationships, I mean, that's like the hardest thing you could ever hope to achieve. But I think they might still be, you know, together and faithful and all that stuff. You know, I've never heard any, like, crazy stories about Cyndi Lauper. I mean, I'm sure she probably has done some crazy stuff, but, like, I never heard, like, any stories of her, like, doing massive amounts of cocaine and stuff like that, or sleeping with 20 dudes because she's, you know, a big-time musician or anything like that. Or even in the wrestling industry, I haven't heard anything like that. So, you know, I kind of have a little more respect for her because of that stuff, you know, avoiding all those vices that, you know, were very big deals in the 80s, and a lot of it, most people didn't even think of that stuff as, like, big vices a lot of the time. It was just a part of, like, how, you know, the industry was, especially in the wrestling industry. I mean, people were doing drugs all over the place. Apparently everybody was swinging with each other's wives and crazy stuff like that. It was definitely a period of time. Let's put it that way. It is pretty cool too that, like, when you do moves, like, people can be hitting the crossfire. It's not as big of a pain in the butt as it is in the Day of Reckoning series, though, either, because of the speed of the characters. But let's see here. Maybe we can put him away here. He's got pretty low health. Oh, gosh dang it, the referee. Oh, wait, nope. Oh, all right, cool. I guess, you know, if they tap, it doesn't matter if the manager's distracting them. Well, now we're moving on. Let's see how much points we got. That was pretty... Well, we didn't get 100% for the match. Oh, never mind. Oh, wow, that is going up so slow. Alright, come on. At least get to 1/3, please. Okay, I guess not. I don't know. I guess I got to figure out some new ways to make the matches more exciting and stuff and stand out. I do really like that mechanic. I just kind of wish there was more variety of things you can do. I think there's only, like, maybe 10 things you can do to build the match excitement meter. And, I mean, that sounds like a lot, but when you have to kind of repeat all those 10 things every match and it still doesn't feel like it's building up your meter all that often, then, you know, I think they should have had more mechanics and stuff like that. And there is stuff, too, that can make it go down, like if you use the same move too often in a match. I think that might actually... There's got to be a few more of them. Like, there's stale moves, I think it's called. But I don't know. We shouldn't have to worry about that stuff. But yeah, I decided to skip the intro because we already seen both Hulk Hogan and Captain Lou Albano's intros and stuff like that. Very great stuff, though. Wow. You see how thin that bar was? And I still got it. God damn it. Now it just negates it. I don't even get a chance to reverse. Yeah, I'm not even sure if I'm being honest what, like, the high spot bonus really is. Like, it just seems like you just do moves and then you get it. Man, that is such a small bar. I don't even understand. There's not really any rhyme or reason as to why, like, the inputs you have to hit correctly, like, they're so small. Like, that one's big, super big, and I'm assuming because maybe I have higher health, but there's just times where, like, there's, like, a sliver of, like, a thing at the time correctly. There's a lot of really good mechanics in this game, I think, to be honest. Like, I would actually like to see in, like, a WWE, you know, more arcade-style kind of game. You know, I think if they made an arcade-style game, I think this is something I'd kind of want to see a little bit more of, to be honest, in this kind of style. Like, obviously not the whole gameplay thing. I'd like better collision detection and stuff like that, but, you know, I want to see, like, this is, I think, what if they made Legends of WrestleMania with, like, you know, the constant, you know, interactive accurateness with all the moves and stuff like that, and you know, the meter in which you have to time it correctly for the reversal and stuff like that. I think that would be awesome. But I don't know. Even with that said, I mean, I just don't think that we're gonna get any sort of spin-off game for the WWE games anymore. Like, they've had plenty of opportunities to make one. I don't know if I can't even remember what it was called. It was just so terrible I didn't even bother with it. But I can't even remember. I don't know if that 2021 game that WWE came out with, that wasn't like the mainline game. I wasn't sure if that was just like something they came up with real quick on the fly to try and just get something out for that year, or if that was an actual like planned side series game that they were gonna try out regardless, and then, you know, they threw it out there and people were like, this is poop. I think it's WWE Battlegrounds, maybe? It was very arcadey, and like I remember there was like a level where like you would get eaten by like a gator or something like that. It was very weird. Also, speaking of that though, I do really like the arenas in this game. I mean, fighting in like a back alley area, I mean, that's awesome. That is just so cool.
Texas, towering in at 6 feet 6 inches and weighing in at 280 pounds, the Yellow Rose of Texas, David Von Erich. Coming down the aisle, hailing from Venice Beach, California, towering in at 6 feet 8 inches and weighing in at 300 pounds, the man with the largest arms in the world, Hulk Hogan. And hailing from Amarillo, Texas, at a height of 6 feet 2 inches, and tipping the scales at an amazing 240 pounds, the long, tall Texan, Dory Funk Jr. And from Memphis, Tennessee, towering in at 6 feet. And tipping the scales at an amazing 235 pounds, Jerry the King Lawler.
All right, so now we got some tag team action going on here. I have always hated tag team matches in the Acclaim games, but like I said, we got TKO on. So, I mean, for the most part, that's probably just what I'm going to try and do. Because there's like the weird mechanics where you have to look at your partner so you could just get your ass absolutely smacked by the AI. And obviously, when they try and do it, that's when you can... Oh, I missed. That's when you can also, you know, just kick the shit out of them and make them pay for it. It might be different in this game because like people move so fast in this game. But, you know, you have to look at your partner, I think, still. You have to do with, you know, anytime you go for a pin, the opponent has completely free reign to come in and stay for like 5 seconds and fight you and all this other stuff. And it's just a pain in the ass. But, like, even with the SmackDown games, man, like, when you're playing with a human player, it's awesome. But when you have to deal with, the kind of nonsense that goes on in that game and the early SmackDown titles with tag team matches, it took them a long time to make it fun when you had to face the AI. And Day of Reckoning, man, oh, that's another extremely annoying one. 90% of the match is just, you know, oh, I beat this guy. And then, you know, I'm going for a pin, and then it gets broken up because my partner doesn't come in, and then, you know, whenever I try and hit the guy off the apron, I get reversed every single time. So it's just, you know, fighting a guy for like 20 extra minutes because I just can't get the his partner to stay off of my ass. But I don't know. They always have like specific like call your partner in kind of buttons and stuff like that, and I always hate that. I like that in the Aki games where it was just as simple as like, oh, I'm going for a pin. All right, both guys get to go in, you know. And the AI was upgraded. I think it was WrestleMania 2000, but maybe it was implemented in Revenge, in which, you know, when you go for a pin, they run, you know, straight to where they need to be, to where they can intercept your opponent, and you know, before they can break up the pin. That was some clever AI work. But I think around this time, Aki was making the Def Jam games. Like I think 2001, maybe it was released in 2002. I haven't really played it before, honestly. But like Def Jam Vendetta, and then I think Fight for You New York was like the sequel, like the next year and stuff like that. It's just such a wild concept. It really sucks too, because you know, you look at Aki a lot of times when they got screwed over after the N64 with development deals, because you know, they were gonna do apparently you know, Mayhem 2, and that would have been awesome for the PS2. And then obviously WCW got bought out. They were gonna do a TNA game, I guess. I think they pitched it to TNA, and instead they went with like Midway games and stuff like that. And there's even like a sequel that was gonna be planned. I think recently just came out, in which, like, you know, it was proven there was a sequel. There was like a YouTube video on, I think Tony the Pizza Guy was playing it. And you know, that was just around the time when Midway was going out of business and had to make some financial cuts. That was around the same time I think MK Fire and Ice actually got you know, removed as well, or you know, taken out of development and stuff like that. Or maybe it was taken out of development specifically to work on the first TNA Impact game. But you know, a lot of people I think say, you know, that game had a lot of potential, but there was just a lot of stuff that kind of just didn't really work out for it. I haven't played it personally myself, so I can't really judge it, but I was never the biggest TNA fan. I mean, they had some pretty good guys in there, you know, Samoa Joe, Kurt Angle, Christian. That was definitely probably the most prominent he was ever featured in his career. Let's see. And there was oh yeah, AJ Styles, of course. That's what I was trying to think of, and it was really awesome because they had the Ultimate X match. And, I mean, that's kind of like the one really big gimmick match that they had over the WWE.
His opponent, hailing from Battle Creek, Michigan, standing at 6 feet and tipping the scales at an amazing 235 pounds, Mr. Monday Night, Rob Van Dam.
Alright, well, now we got Mr. Monday Night, the guy we were originally going to play as. I was trying to bait him out, and if you press it at the right time, if someone's running at you, you can just automatically reverse it with like a big boot with Hogan and stuff like that. But I don't know, I guess my timing must just be off. But the guy I was originally going to be playing this on, I don't know. I mean, I might actually change up my costume too. I was just thinking about that, because I think you might be able to change the outfit of wrestlers in this game, like the pre-existing roster. So I don't know. I'll have to see that, you know, maybe next episode or something if I can remember. But maybe I'll just use his secondary outfit first. But that was also another great thing about this game was, you know, characters had multiple outfits and stuff like that you could play as. Legends of Wrestling 2 would have it even better with, you know, 4 costumes per character instead of 2. But it sucks because, like, after a while, it was around the PS2 era. For whatever reason, it was like the SmackDown vs. Raw titles is when they really, you know, they really started to kind of get away from, you know, people having multiple outfits. I used to think that Shut Your Mouth, everybody had a costume. It wasn't that. It was just that most characters had some sort of alternate costume. And it was just kind of really sad because obviously N64 days, you know, Acclaim and Aki, everybody had like 4 outfits in most games. You know, SmackDown titles, everybody only really had 1 outfit when they really could have had multiple outfits for characters. I mean, SmackDown 2 had like all those extra costumes and stuff like that that you could use to create characters, you know, classic looks like, you know, the Dudley Boys from like when they first debuted. They had like an unused Perry Saturn outfit, you know, that was in the beta that you could put together for them. The Keen outfit with the tank top. The Ministry Undertaker, they had a backstage Undertaker look that I don't think ended up being used. You could put together Stone Cold in his backstage outfit as well, which was kind of annoying because it was already something that was used in the game, you know, for like the model for cutscenes, but ended up didn't go for it. You know, as a playable character model. You had also the freaking Rock in his tracksuit from like 1999. Triple H from where you had the DX outfit and stuff like that. You know, a lot of really cool stuff that, you know, and they even had to take it out of SmackDown 2 because I think it was just Bring It. They wanted to like have the same kind of thing where it's like, okay, here are the template parts. You can just piece the characters, you know, the older looks together. And I guess WWE was just like, nah, you can't do that anymore. And honestly, I don't know the exact talks or anything like that, but the issue probably was because they put people like fucking Goldust and Jeff Jarrett in there. Like, of course, you know, that could have. I'm surprised they didn't get, you know, any copyright suit for that or anything like that at the time, because like you can just literally like their full likenesses, their heads were in there. They didn't put Bob Backlund, Sergeant Slaughter, Andre the Giant, or Jerry Lawler in there, like their head models and stuff like that to recreate, but they put Jeff Jarrett and Goldust in there, who were supposed to be in the original SmackDown game. So I don't know, it's just kind of crazy to me that they even got away with that. Alright, is this one gonna be it? Alright, well, we're getting a lot better at this game, kicking butt, taking names, that whole ordeal. Yeah, so you can't choose what taunt you do in this mode, but I like it when he does like his, you know, largest arms in the world kind of taunt. Let's see. We got ourselves a title match, folks.
His opponent, hailing from Cincinnati, Ohio, at a height of 6 feet and weighing in at 225 pounds, Brian Pillman.
Alright, we got Flyin Brian Pillman, and that's what I was trying to do last match, that freaking big boot. I used to have that timing down every single time, and I was just always able to open the match with the first strike. Ooh, extreme damage. Once again, I don't actually know what these freaking things, what they do exactly, and I don't think anybody else does either. Yeah, man, it's just too bad. I mean, I loved in SmackDown 2 being able to recreate the classic outfits and characters. And I've always wondered how long the original SmackDown game was in development for, because they have a lot of interesting choices in there. Like Goldust and Jeff Jarrett had finished models at one point. Meat was going to be in there and stuff like that. I mean, it came out in March of 2000. And you got to think, they had a model made for Triple H from when he was, you know, wearing the DX outfits, you know, from early 1999. Like, I don't know, it's just crazy to think, you know, especially since, I mean, they had to build a base, I guess, like that they would eventually expand upon a lot more in SmackDown 2. And I don't know, it makes me wonder what other kind of models they made that we're never going to see and stuff like that. Obviously, there's like the very, very, very tan model of China that everybody talks about in the beta and stuff like that. But it makes you wonder too, like, was Owen Hart, you know, at that point, you know, if he had that early 1999 Triple H, was Owen Hart, did he have a model at some point, or like, you know, planned for or anything like that? I don't know. These are the questions that keep me up at night. Speaking of which, Owen Hart, I mean, people often complain a lot about, you know, how Martha Hart won't let him get, you know, remembered and stuff like that, and she's trying to erase his legacy and all this other stuff. I mean, I think she's kind of shown a lot of times that she doesn't have any sort of issues with Owen Hart being in like wrestling, involved in wrestling, but more so just WWE, and I think that's something that a lot of people don't really seem to understand. And you can have all the opinions you want in the world, but at the end of the day, you know, you're not the one who's gonna make that decision. That's up to, you know, the family. But I don't know. I don't really know the whole details about that that whole affair or anything like that. But you know, Owen Hart would end up, you know, showing up in Legends of Wrestling 2. You can play as him in that game. Obviously, there's the Owen Hart tournament in AEW and stuff like that. Like I said, the Hall of Fame isn't the end-all, be-all. WWE won anyway, so I don't really blame her for not wanting to be a part of that that whole thing, especially with how they handled it. You know, I think a lot of people in the bubble of wrestling, you know, and I've kind of been guilty of it myself in the past a little bit, where I was hoping I was gonna get that, but I think you know, where we always kind of think like, okay, what would we do in that situation? You know, he just passed and stuff like that, and I don't know. I think just the humane thing would have been like, you know, okay, well, he's you know, maybe not right after, you know, his fall. I mean, I wasn't there. Obviously, it was a really devastating fall, and even if you look at it and you're like, okay, that's got to be fatal. If you look at it and you know exactly, you know, this is an issue, he's not going to make it, you know, we just got to end the show, then I think we should end the show. But, you know, I think as soon as, like, you know, JR was notified, as soon as they were notified Owen Hart was passed, it should have just been, that's it, you know, we got to 86 this show, guys. Just out of respect for everybody there, you know, but they just didn't seem to want to refund, you know, any of the customers or anything like that.
His opponent from Moscow, Russia, at a height of 6 feet and tipping the scales at an amazing 300 pounds, former World Heavyweight Champion and former World Tag Team Champion, the Russian Bear, Ivan Koloff.
Alright, so we have, well, that was stupid of me, but we have, you know, won the championship title here, folks, and now, we just gotta defend it. I don't know, I don't even really understand the point of defending the title. I mean, if it was, like, against a few guys, sure, I'd understand it, but, like, I just have one match, like, it just seems like it's a little thrown together, to me personally. But let's get out our weapon. Let's get this meter built up and stuff like that. I wish that you know, there was a way to carry over your match excitement and stuff like that, or your overall popularity. Yeah, overall popularity. Man, I think after 2 years of being on YouTube that I would know how to speak, but guess not. But unfortunately, yeah, this, even though there's a match excitement meter, there's it doesn't carry over or anything like that. There's no purpose for this match specifically. So let's just try and beat him down quickly using weapons and get this match taken care of. Surprised I haven't gotten the extreme damage thing yet. Yeah, it's amazing. Dude, are you okay, dude? I literally just picked you off the fucking ground and you're screaming in agony. This game's definitely over the top. I think one of the things I also do love about the Legends of Wrestling games, the first two at least anyway, it's just how awesome the intros are. Like, definitely, I think they're on like on par for probably, they gotta be like one of the best wrestling intro games of all time, in my opinion. Maybe the Aki games, you know, I can see the argument for there, but I don't know, it's cool. It's cool around this time they still kind of had that, people were still making intros. I mean, the SmackDown vs. Raw one was awesome. It's too bad they never made another one in that kind of style for like 2006 or 7 or whatever. And nowadays, they don't even have any intros. I mean, they used to at least give you like the SmackDown or Raw show intros. It just depended on what game, you know, you booted up or whatever. But I don't know. What are you gonna do, I guess? But alright, well, we did it, guys. So thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe. Check out next week's episode. But above all else, please remember to have a nice day.